So there's an unfortunate one where a guy learns that the wedding vow, in sickness and health till death do us part, isn't exactly taken seriously nowadays, and learns the hard way about just how things are nowadays, but certainly a certain particular type of women. Title: 3 days ago, I was diagnosed with lung cancer. 2 days ago, my wife of 13 years packed her things and the kids and left me. Yeah, again, in sickness and health, huh? This poor guy. He says, the short story. 3 days ago, I was diagnosed with a lung cancer. 2 days ago, my wife of 13 years packed up the kids, blah, blah, blah. Long story, I'm 40 years old and married to my wife, a 42-year-old female, for 13 years. And we were together for 15 years. We have 2 boys, 12 and 8 years old. We had a decent life. We are living in the Eastern Europe. But we managed to live a life of middle class. We met in 2008. We fell in love almost instantly. And we crowned our relationship with marriage in 2010. Smack! I'm sorry what he's going through. And I honestly, I shouldn't slap a guy who's diagnosed with lung cancer because I feel bad for him and what happened. But met in 2008, got married in 2010. Way too soon. You do not know her. And clearly, as you're seeing here, he didn't know her. Sounds like she found her guy that she could take care of her with enough resources. I didn't say a lot of resources, but enough resources. This is Eastern Europe after all. No offense to the Eastern European brothers, but you know what I'm talking about here. And, well, he was okay as long as, there was no problems. But now we got a problem. When we met, I was a smoker, but not a heavy smoker, half a pack a day. I quit smoking because she didn't like the habit. Fast forward in time, 3 months ago, I started coughing. It was short coughing, like when your throat is dry. During the last 2 months, coughing was getting more intense with a shortness of breath. I visited a doctor, but he couldn't hear anything, so he prescribed me some antihistamines, assuming that this is related to some allergies. Anyway, a month ago, I noticed bits of blood after coughing. Uh-oh. I visited a doctor once more, and he immediately sent me to take an x-ray of my chest. Unfortunately, it was cancer, already in the second metastasis. This poor bastard, 40 years old. And I gotta wonder if he was smoking super young, or did he grow up in a household everybody else was a smoker, and he got this because of 40. During that period, my wife was telling me that it's probably nothing, and you're just being paranoid. Oh, that's loving. 3 days ago, I returned from the doctor and told her while the kids were in school what the situation was. At first, she was silent, and then she became furious, ranting how I could do that to her and how she never should have married me if she knew that I would get cancer or some other things. What the fuck, lady? So much for the deeply in love wife. His fault? You're angry with him? Now, yeah, he smoked up until he was with her, and sure, that was not the smartest thing to do, but still. You think they should be crying and hugging him and saying it's going to be okay and I love you? No, she's furious at him. What an asshole. It gets worse. I understand that she was in shock. I tried to hug her and comfort her, but she pushed me and told me to stay away with my cancerous body away from her. This is time to him to start really laying down the law. Not offering her hugs or anything like that. Oh, hell no. Bitch, you're going to get a fucking attitude adjustment. God knows for how long this would be going when our eldest son returned home from school. He is still a kid, but he understands things, and he noticed that something is going on. I went in for the hug. My wife jumped in saying how daddy is not in the mood for hugs. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to hug my son, you fucking bitch. I made a mistake and let her go with the BS. Smack. I know I shouldn't smack a guy with cancer, but no. You don't let her run the narrative, run the show here. She's an a-hole. She then went with our son to pick up the other kid from school. I was alone in our flat, telling myself that she's in shock and everything will be fine when she cools down. They returned later than usual around 9 p.m. No one touched a dinner that I prepared. Even worse, the kids went straight to bed. I tried asking where they were, how was school, etc. My older son was on the brink of tears and asked me why I'm not loving them anymore, and rushed to bed. And that is why you don't let her control the narrative here. Look what she did. She's already poisoned the kids' minds. Immediately, she's preparing to obviously jump ship and get out of Dodge with the kids because she obviously doesn't want to have to deal with and probably find another man because she doesn't want to obviously have to be the parent and provider. She was fine with this guy until he gets cancer and he can't provide anymore. He says, everything turned into a huge shit show. Now I became mad, and I asked my wife what the F is going on. For the first time in our marriage, she was the cold one. She replied that if I touch her kids, she'll report me for domestic things. Oh, if I give my children a hug, then you're going to report me for this, that, and this? And the sad thing is, she could just say, he did this, he did that, and the knee-jerk reaction is to always, as the saying goes, believe all. This is the first time that we went for sleep in separate beds. Tomorrow morning, I had to go to work. Kids were still sleeping, as well as she. I didn't touch her. Still hurt after the scenes from last night. Remember, he just was diagnosed with lung cancer, and that's a pretty scary thing, and he has to deal with this bullshit. At my job, the colleagues and the owner were quite sentimental and sensitive, asking what they can do for me. Is there a cure and such? I still don't have any details about the treatment, but there might be hope. I was checking my phone, hoping that she would call, send messages, anything. I sent my son a message telling him that I love him and how we should speak later, and he didn't reply. Yeah, something's definitely up. When I returned home, she wasn't there. The kids were in school probably, but I noticed that some things are missing, and I soon found out that 4 suitcases are missing. Kids, clothes, toys, etc. She cleared out and left town. I tried calling her, but her phone was unreachable, as well as my son's phone. I called her dad. He answered my call and told me that he will off me if I touch her daughter ever again. He is a retired Army officer. That's the moment when you go to the parents and say, oh, we're going to talk because I've been a good husband to your daughter and I'm the father of your grandkids, and whatever she's telling you is bullshit. I've been diagnosed with cancer. But you can also understand that this whole world is crumbling, so he's not exactly thinking straight, which I can get. So here I am, sitting in our flat, empty, and observing how my world is crumbling around me. I don't have the slightest idea what I should do next. My sister and her husband are trying to help me, but she probably blocked their numbers as well. I'm missing my kids. I'm missing our Sunday afternoon games and free time. My chest is hurting. I would really like to rip out my heart and just skip that pain. Dude, nobody can blame you. And I'm not, obviously this is a different country, different part of the world, and I'm not an attorney or a police officer, but this guy, in my opinion, needs to reach out to a lawyer as soon as possible because she just took the kids. Again, I don't know the laws of his country, and if it's more favoring towards women, I'm sure it is, but still, he has rights. He's a father, and also, if she's feeding these kids BS lies, which obviously was going on here, in this country, that could definitely come to bite her in the butt. But I would contact the freaking in-laws and tell them what's going on so that they are aware. Contact a lawyer and see what he can, because he has rights. That's what I think. And he should not be with her crazy ass anymore. And I don't want to hear anybody say, because there'll always be one person saying, oh, she's scared or terrified. Bullshit. I think what's going on here is she's assuming he's going to die. She's going in defense mode. She's getting out of Dodge. And is going to probably find some sucker to shack up with, so then she wouldn't have to, God forbid, take care of paying things. But this is terrible. The one person who should be by your side and love you. I mean, I'm hearing more and more of these stories about these guys getting sick or having something happen to them. I can't think of the word, but various things happening to them. And immediately the wives turn on them just like that. You know, it's unbelievable. But again, welcome to today's world where there's nothing. The ways of the past, the good positive ways, are going right out the door. And people actually wonder why so many men, right, are not interested in marriage. Gee, I wonder why. Bullshit like this, or the edge of the Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world that we have out there, or the laws being completely set up to screw men over in case of a divorce, you can't blame guys in the least. So I really do wish this guy well. But again, guys, remember, you're going to get married, spend more than 2 years getting to know your girl, and be aware of these types of things that can happen. I really wish this guy the best.